Hello guys, welcome to another edition of Ray's Sports News and Debates. In today's video, I'm going to give you my top 10 quarterbacks from the AFC side, coming in at number 10 all the way to number 1. As always, this is just my opinion, guys. I'm always looking forward to reading your guys' reviews in the comments. Give me your top 10 AFC, and super eager to hear from you guys. We did the NFC side last week. Much easier to do. This AFC side was really, really tough because there's a lot of great elite quarterbacks on the AFC side. So the top 6, top 7 was extremely tough. I have my reasons why I have quarterbacks at certain spots. But yeah, let's get into it. Coming in at number 10 from the Pittsburgh Steelers, I got Russell Wilson. I still think there's a little bit left in that tank. He's going to a younger wide receiver core. I think he'll be better in Pittsburgh. The line got a little bit better in the offseason and then in the draft. And if that defense continues to be great and the offense gives just a little bit, I definitely see the Steelers being a contender in the division next year. Coming in at number 9 from the Colts, I'm going to go Anthony Richardson. Now, yes, the sample size on him is extremely small. It was small on him in college. And when he came to the Colts, I was skeptical. I was like, why did they draft him? Why didn't they draft somebody else? But I think he's the perfect quarterback, for the Colts right now. I think the Colts are still trying to figure out their identity going forward the next couple of years. I think Richardson was the first piece to that. I do like his dual threat ability, him running the football, him throwing the football. I just need to see a whole season out of him staying healthy, and then I can, judge him a little bit, more harshly, because he only played in, I think, 5 or 6 games. Coming in at number 8, I guess you could consider this one of the shockers on this list. I got Tua on here. Now, the reason I have Tua on 8 is because he has Tyreek Hill, he has Waddle, 2 wide receivers that are in the top 10 in all of the National Football League, and he still cannot beat great teams. He could beat terrible teams, he could beat bad teams, he could beat kind of good teams. But he can't win in the postseason. He can't beat these elite teams. He can't beat Patrick Mahomes. Now, there's not a lot of people who can beat Patrick Mahomes, but you took arguably his best weapon, and you still couldn't beat him. So that's the reason I got 8. I need to see it in clutch time from Tua. Coming in at number 7, Justin Herbert. I think fundamentally sound, technique-wise, accuracy, strength, he's probably up there in the top 3 or 4. But in terms of results, in terms of the teams that he's had, he lost Keenan Allen this year. He lost Mike Williams this year. He lost Austin Eckler this year. So he lost basically his whole offense. So I'm not sure what the identity of the Chargers will be going forward. Is Harbaugh going to rebuild this year? Try and go for a high draft pick? Get another elite wide receiver for Herbert next season? I don't know. But I do believe the hype in Justin Herbert. Now, he's been the starter for a couple of years now, so I think this year and next year is kind of be the make it or break it year for him. But I think he does have the talent. Now, I don't know who can get him to put results on the board. I think that's up to him. But I got Herbert at number 7. Coming in at number 6, and like I said, guys, these top 6 were extremely, extremely hard to do. Well, number 1 wasn't, but coming in at number 6, I gotta put Josh Allen. I don't believe the hype in Josh Allen. He had a great season. 2020, went to the AFC Championship game, lost to Patrick Mahomes, in a shootout. But he's a high-risk, high-reward quarterback. Yes, he's going to produce you probably 45-plus, touchdowns rushing and receiving. Rushing and throwing the ball. But he turns the ball over continuously, throwing interceptions, fumbling the ball. And, for a while, Buffalo had one of the best defenses, and he still cannot beat Patrick Mahomes. He can't beat these other, well, I guess he can beat elite quarterbacks, but he can't beat Patrick Mahomes. And that guy's, on another level. But I just don't see the hype in Josh Allen. I really don't. He has the arm strength. I'll give him that. But in terms of accuracy, in terms of, getting results, yes, the Bills are winning that division every year. But look at their competition. The Dolphins, yes, got a little bit better this year. Okay. The Jets had Rodgers, but he got hurt 4 plays in the last season. But I don't, he lost Diggs. He lost Gabe Davis. I think there's going to be a regression year, and I think it's going to be this season. And, even beforehand, he had all this talent and still couldn't produce in the postseason. And, I can't, just knock him because he can't produce in the offseason. But, he had one great year. And they won an easy division ever since Brady left the AFC East. But, I think Allen could definitely crack into the top 4, top 3 if he has another strong season this year. But as of right now, I have him at number 6. Coming in at number 5, I have CJ Stroud. What a rookie season this guy had for the Houston Texans. He blew mine, y'all's, everyone's, including the Texans fan base, expectations out the window. Jacksonville collapsed at the end of the season, but he came alive strong. They won that division. They won a playoff game. They just unfortunately had to face one of the better teams in the AFC in the playoffs and, got beat. But I definitely think the future's bright for that team. They signed Stephon Diggs. They got Joe Mixon from the Bengals. And I think with them having Tank, and all the weapons, Schultz is still there, Noah Brown, and all those elite, wide receivers on that squad, the Texans might be the front runner to win the AFC this year. But I got CJ at number 5. I like the talent. I like the aggressiveness. I still think he has a little bit to learn, but man, can this cat play? And now, like I said, the offense got tremendously better in the offseason, so I'm really eager to see how the Texans do against these elite teams. Coming in at number 4, okay, I'm going to go Joe Burrow right here. Joe's a little low. I had him at 2 or 3 at the beginning, but it's the sample size. When Joe Burrow's healthy and going, the Bengals are one of the best teams in all of football, okay? But he's got hurt 2 out of the past 3 seasons, or out of the past 4 seasons. And the reason I have him at number 4 and not 5 or 6 is because one of the seasons he did stay healthy, he carried the worst offensive line in all of football to the Super Bowl. Would have won the Super Bowl if his line gave him anything. But when Aaron Donald's on the other side, it's hard to beat them. But Burrow stays healthy, the line holds up. The Bengals are one of the 3 teams that I have potentially to come out of the AFC in the Super Bowl. I think they have the talent. They have Jamar Chase. Yes, they lost Joe Mixon, which I think is a huge blow. And I hope they give T. Higgins an extension at some point. Because if he goes off this year, you think, he wants money now. And he has a great year. He's going to be asking, for, A.J. Brown type money, Justin Jefferson type money. But I got Burrow at number 4. I like the leadership that he has, the strength, the accuracy, the grit, the determination, everything you want in a quarterback, Joe Burrow has. Now, the main concern for Joe Burrow is his health. But I do love Joe Burrow's game. Coming in at number 3, I'm going Lamar Jackson. Now, I moved him up. He was probably 6 or 7 in the AFC last year before he won the MVP for a second time. And I think that's why I have him at number 3. He is a 2-time MVP. Although his numbers in the postseason aren't great, he's probably the best dual threat quarterback in all of football. He's going to give you 700+ yards rushing. He's going to give you above 4,000 yards passing. Now, the one thing I think that keeps him lower on this list is I need to see the more consistent passing game. I need to see him, throw those 25, 30, 40-yard bombs rather than doing the dink and dunk, to the running backs, to Mark Andrews, to, these wide receivers. I need to see him be a little bit more aggressive before I put him above these next two quarterbacks. But he is a 2-time MVP for a reason. So, maybe, he can do something, this year in the postseason. Both years they won MVP. They've done great, but they haven't got past the divisional round. Last year they did, but in terms of beating that elite team, that being the Chiefs. Coming in at number 2, I'm not sure this is going to be a shocker to most people. It really shouldn't. And that's Aaron freaking Rodgers. Now, is this guy a drama queen? Absolutely. Does he want all the attention? Absolutely. Okay. But I can't argue with the talent. He's a 4-time MVP. He's won a Super Bowl before in Green Bay. And yes, it was 13, 12 years ago. It was a long time ago. But he does have a Super Bowl. He is a 4-time MVP. He has probably the best or second best touchdown to interception ratio in all of quarterback history for the NFL. You know what he's going to give you every single season. He's going to give you around 40 touchdown passes and, somewhere from 6 to 9 interceptions. He doesn't turn the ball over that much. He's going to probably the best defense in all of football, if not the second best. I would argue, 49ers and Jets are pretty neck and neck in terms of defense this year. But he's going to the best defense that he's had probably ever in his career. But in terms of accuracy, not turning the ball over, everything, that you could potentially want in a quarterback, Aaron Rodgers has. He just can't beat the 49ers. And he just has postseason woes. And, but I respect the talent. He's still doing it at 40. And, he only played 4 plays last season. So I'm kind of eager to see what he does, if he can stay healthy this year. But, yeah, I got Aaron Rodgers at number 2. Number 1, this shouldn't be a shocker to anybody. He's the best quarterback in all of football right now. He's probably top 3 all-time already. He wins the Super Bowl this year. He's definitely top 2. And that's Patrick Mahomes. A 2-time MVP, 3-time Super Bowl champion, a back-to-back Super Bowl champion this year and last season. And I told everybody, if Mahomes wins the Super Bowl last season, which he did, with the team that he had, and they get better, they might three-peat this year. Think about this. The Chiefs led the league in dropped passes last season. They led the league in dropped passes and still won the Super Bowl. Now, was their defense great? Absolutely. Can't take anything away from that defense. But I will never bet against Patrick Mahomes again. I'm definitely picking the Chiefs to come out of the AFC this year until another team proves me otherwise. Okay? The Chiefs got better in every position that they needed to get better in. Okay? They drafted Xavier Worthy, who I think has the potential to be the next Tyreek Hill. Now, I know that's a lot, comparing him to a guy like Tyreek Hill, but, Worthy broke the combine record for the 40, and I think if you put him in that slot route, against second and, third, in terms of quarterback depth chart, you get your third best quarterback guarding him, he's going to get cooked all day. And then them signing Hollywood Brown, I think is one of the most underrated signings this entire offseason. The one position the Chiefs needed to get better on was wide receiver. And I think now that you have Xavier Worthy, now that you have Hollywood Brown, and you have Rice, who's coming into his 3rd season, he's getting better and better. Ended up being Mahomes' number 1 target last year. Now, I think, he's going to be Mahomes' probably 2nd or 3rd favorite target. It's going to open up things for Kelsey. It's going to open up woods for Brown, for Worthy, for all of them having more talent, more speed. And I think that's tremendously going to help the Chiefs, especially if they have to abandon the run game like they do in most games. But it's clear cut. Mahomes is the best quarterback in the AFC. 3 Super Bowls, 2 Super Bowl MVPs. They've been in the AFC Championship game the last 7 years. You know, you can't argue against Patrick Mahomes. I think he's the best quarterback in all of football. And I think behind Montana and behind Brady, he's the best to ever do it. And he's done it in a lot shorter time. And he's, you know, not even 30 yet. You know, and I think he's still got 15 more years. I think he could definitely win 4 or 5 more Super Bowls in the next 15 years. But that's going to be it for today's list, guys. Like I said, feel free to hit the like, comment, and subscribe button to the channel today. We're getting super close to 500 subscribers on here, which is absolutely phenomenal. Thank you guys for the continued love and support to the channel. I really do appreciate it. Comment below your top 10, what you would change about my top 10, why you would change it, why you have your list. Eager to hear from you guys as always. But until next time, you guys have a good one.